so looks like we'll be listening to this in the background. Currently, this is looking a bit unfortunate for HayPro. I don't expect it, really. I mean, it's a straight-up macro game. I would certainly say HayPro is incredibly strong at the moment. WhiteRa really caught him off guard in the first game, and honestly, that was kind of a scratch-my-head moment, because with WhiteRa being on one base for so long, you've got to expect something. It's either going to be Stargate play, or it's going to be Dark Templar. And both of the answers to that are, of course, Spore Crawlers, which he had none of, so I don't really know what was going on there, but in the straight-up macro game there on Antigua, things got a little bit hairy for HayPro. While he was able to do significant economic damage, he didn't seem to do the job. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Are you ready for this next game? HayPro's got to get back in it. But at the moment, we've got Thermaltake Esports WhiteRa, who is looking monstrous in the blue trunks. Yes, he is flexing in his Ukrainian style. And he is playing Protoss to the northeast of the GSL Daybreak versus his opponent. Awesome. More Soul Calibur 1 soundtrack. Damn right. And why not? It's LiquidHayprO. He is in the red trunks, and he's playing Zerg to the southwest. Okay, well, let's see if HayPro can come back into this best-of-5 series, having lost 2 matches. And bear in mind, those were 2 picks for him as well. He got the first pick due to a coin flip, and he ended up losing that, and then also lost the matchup on Antigua. Was just leaving with a few. It was a 7-map pool, and then 2 were vetoed. So Metalopolis was vetoed by WhiteRa. Would have left him with the possibility of going Tal'Darim, but he did decide to go Daybreak. Daybreak is honestly not a map I'm too familiar with, simply because I don't really get the time to watch the GSL. I wish I did, but I have so little time to do anything these days. But it is coming now into Western tournaments in a big way as part of the map pool, as Shattered Temple and Xel'Naga Caverns have pretty much been thrown out. And I don't really blame anyone for that. I mean, Zerg on Shattered Temple versus Terran, for instance, is a nightmare, and Xel'Naga Caverns is a very difficult map for Zerg as well sometimes. Terran do have advantages on both of those maps. So those have pretty much been thrown out of the pool. And we've got Daybreak, and we've got Belshir Beach, of course, which I think the jury is still out on that one. And Dual Sight available. Dual Sight's quite a nice aggressive map, I like that. Alright, well, HayPro's going over the spawning pool on 14 supply, and this is going to be a Forge Fast Expand right here by WhiteRa, because hey, why not? It's a good map for it, as you can see. Nice and easy to wall off this area. It's not the narrowest choke in the world, but it's not the worst one either. HayPro would prefer that WhiteRa did not have a probe there. HayPro may be able, in fact, he can actually delay this for... It's not a forge. What am I talking about? It's the double forge build at the 3-minute mark. No. He can delay this Nexus for a little bit of time. WhiteRa now has the opportunity to put that down and can also immediately follow it up with a gateway. Just delay it slightly, not by a huge amount. In the meantime, HayPro going for his hatchery at the appropriate time as well. And it's going to go gasless for the moment. If he was going to grab gas, he would have grabbed it by now, so I expect the gas to be pretty damn late from him. And why get the gas? You know, what is your motivation of getting the gas if your opponent's going to go Forge Fast Expand? Unless you're going to bust it, which generally doesn't work, simply because of sentries, but whatever the case. Alright, double gas being now grabbed by WhiteRa, so that's going to be nice and safe for him, and for the next few minutes, I wouldn't expect too much to happen. HayPro is going to throw 4 lings out there, and he knows about that base, so it's quite likely he's going to try and take the third very quickly. As you can see, WhiteRa knows that this third is taken there, and while he doesn't see the third going down, he can pretty much confirm that that's the case, and he knows that around the 4-minute 25 mark, the third went down for HayPro. Not exactly what I call an early third, considering his opponent went Forge Fast Expand. There's nothing unusual about that at all. Both these guys wanted to get their economy into a great place. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, while we're just watching this do nothing in particular, I'd like to remind you that this show match is sponsored by Club3D. The URL is in the link down to the bottom there. And you can also have a chance to win a 6790 graphics card over at facebook.com/Club3D. Just like the page and leave a comment to enter the drawing. All wonderful. So thanks to Club3D for supporting esports. Always nice to see. They're a graphics card manufacturer, if you didn't know. Alright, now the question is, what does WhiteRa decide to do from here? Because this is where the variety starts to come in. Once the Cyber Core comes up, WhiteRa can do all sorts of crazy things. Right now, he's building up a very significant gas count. Nothing wrong with that. Protoss can always use their gas very easily, thanks to Warp Gate tech. You can sink that into a lot of sentries without any issue at all. So I'm going to go for the early +1, which I do like very much from WhiteRa. What that basically does is, if HayPro decides to go for a lot of Lings, it makes Zealots extremely effective against that. Potentially force them down a particular tech path. Allows for a little bit of early Zealot poking. Not so much pressure, but a little bit of harassment there. Now, if we have a look at it, we've got 34 drones up against 32 probes. HayPro will be able to gain the worker lead if he decides to do nothing but build drones. And is now finally grabbing those 2 gas on his main there, as you can see. 1 and 2. HayPro not really missing any injects here. His macro is looking pretty nice for the most part. Not that you would really expect anything else. He hasn't been able to inject on this base just yet because, well, it takes time for the Queen to come up, but that's not a big deal. And we've also got 3 more gateways coming up for WhiteRa. The question is, what does WhiteRa decide to do from here? Does he decide to close out the series with a really aggressive play, maybe add an awful lot more gateways on? We shall find out. He hasn't put any tech down just yet. Could, of course, just be a +1, maybe 7 gate pressure, maybe 6 or 7. HayPro is a sneak. How does he even do this? He sneaks a drone in every time. Slimy, slithery little drone gets in there and finds some useful information. Let's see, 3 more gateways going up. Not a huge amount of pressure coming in from WhiteRa. He's going to try and grab himself a 3rd base, which... that's potentially harassable here if HayPro was to 1, scout that, and 2, decide to pile on the pressure. And HayPro's got to suspect that if he doesn't already know it. He doesn't have confirmation, but he's thinking, right, where's the rest of your minerals going? Because you just built 3 more gateways and I see no tech. So what are you doing? Are you going to take a 3rd? Because if you're going to take a 3rd, then maybe, just maybe, I can start to put some pressure onto it. Link speed isn't up yet, but he can start to build roaches immediately. And WhiteRa's army is extremely small, for the most part. Warp in right there of sentries, and really, well, no. I was like, no, there's no speed, so you can't do anything there. A few Lings just thrown away, doesn't really matter too much, but if he had speed, he'd be able to surround those sentries and do significant damage, and I wonder if WhiteRa should decide to pile on a bit of pressure. That wouldn't be a particularly good idea, I feel. That's a lot of gases put in the middle of the field there that could be very easily picked off by a sudden surge of units. 6 roaches and 8 Lings on the way in order to try and make that happen, but just taking gentle control of the center for the moment. Another gateway coming up for WhiteRa, and the question is, what does he do with his tech? Well, he's going to go Robo. We'll see if he decides to go for a Colossus build from here. Another gateway being added on. Takes him to a total of 6. In the meantime, HayPro looking pretty solid in terms of his economy. 56 drones. Nothing really wrong with that at all. Working on roaches. Actually going for roach upgrades this time as well, which is something that didn't serve him too well on Antigua, I've got to say. He was completely out upgraded in that respect. So it would be good if he made sure that that didn't happen. Going for Burrow as well, which I do like. Burrow is a fantastic upgrade, especially with tunneling claws. What a wonderful piece of kit that is. You can save so many roaches. Alright, it's going to be a Twilight Council, so we're looking for heavy gateway pressure. If we have a look at the count right now, it's 4 Stalkers or 1 Zealot, so it's not really an indication if it's going to be Blink Stalker or Charging Zealot just yet. I would imagine Blink Stalker at a guess, but that really is just a guess. We shall find out very shortly what he decides to go for. Of course, he could go for DT, and there's nothing really stopping him from doing that. He's, let's see how much gas he's got. He's actually mining from 5 gas. That's very, very heavy. So it could actually be a Dark Templar play, or it could, of course, be teching through to High Templar, potentially. I guess we'll find out very, very shortly, won't we? There we go. It's going to be Blink. And Immortal's being added into the mix as well, so that explains where the rest of that gas is going. Now, in the meantime, what are we looking at? We've got an Infestation Pit coming out right here for HayPro. Taking the 2 gas up the top. That takes him up to a grand total of 6. No problems there at all. Tunneling Claws coming out for HayPro. A nice upgrade. I love this upgrade. Oh, it's a potential little snipe right there. Can he get the surround? He's so good. Oh, WhiteRa saves it. Oh, so clutch the play there by WhiteRa. So close to losing that Immortal. All the Lings cleaned up quite nicely there by WhiteRa. Doesn't have to worry too much, but he's opened up a little bit of a path there for some engagement. It will actually be a Dark Shrine. There you go. Never mind. Okay, it's going to be all of the things from WhiteRa. Immortals, Warp Prism, Dark Shrine, and Blink. Why not? He's on 3 bases. He has no problems with that at all. He's got a good, solid economy rolling. HayPro's starting to build up a fairly scary force, and WhiteRa's going to be a little bit careful about that. +1 upgrade is now complete. We've got Pathogen Glands coming in and Tunneling Claws. There is 1 Observer out. Actually, there's 2, never mind. So I don't know how effective Tunneling Claws is going to be. That Observer is shadowing that group there. WhiteRa now looking to try and trap it. Tunneling Claws isn't up yet. Wouldn't really make a difference anyway. He's going to have to get in as close as he can, but honestly, I think HayPro's going to end up getting crushed here. Especially if WhiteRa actually micros fairly well, and Blink is about to finish. So that's going to make things much, much easier for him. Some damage certainly done, but the Immortal stays alive. And no Borrower is going to assist you here, I am afraid. But Ling's now coming in from the back. Not enough. No way. There's no way near enough in order to deal with that. He's got to back off immediately. Infestors are on the way, however, so that's a good answer to Blink Stalker. Lock them down and then surround and destroy them quite easily. Good upgrade for the most part for him as well. Looking for missile attack level 2 here. WhiteRa's going to take a 4th. Wow, this is incredibly greedy play right here. And HayPro's already taken his. Now, the 4th on this map isn't so great, as you can see. It's a very small 4th. It does have a rich Vespene Geyser, which is not as good as 2 Vespene Geysers. It's kind of like 1.5. An interesting play one way or the other from these two, going into the longer macro game. Surprisingly low tech here from WhiteRa. I'm interested to see what he decides to do with these Dark Templar. Keeping an eye out for it. There we go. There they are. Dark Templar now moving into the main. And, is he going to be able to stop that snipe? Oh, never mind. He hasn't got the last one. He hasn't got the last one. Oh, no. The lair is down. Oh, dear God. He missed the last Templar. That was really unfortunate. That tech is now denied to him. Admittedly, he's got all his tech buildings up, so unless you want to go quick tech to Hive, this isn't really going to hurt him all that much, but it still kind of sucks. Warp Prism is now needing to get out there. Oh, and a missed Fungal as well, but the second one grabs it, so no problem at all. Zealots will get out and be immediately crushed, as you can see there. HayPro's army looking pretty damn scary right now. He is certainly ahead supply-wise. His roach count's not massive either, so actually that's a lot of good supply used. Bear in mind that the roach count can always be deceptive when it comes to that kind of thing. We've got 8 infestors now on the field, so +2 about to complete, so looks like he's going to strike at a quite nice timing here. WhiteRa does have a significant tech advantage. He's got a lot of Templar, and feedback is ready to go, so those infestors could be easily picked off. He's not careful. And here we go. Now he needs to get in there and do some damage. He must do some damage at this point. He's already taken some economic losses there. Some good feedback's going on, but still plenty of infestors available. Funneling them now into the hot gates where their numbers count for nothing. Those infestors have got to get some good fungals. There's a good land there. Has he got enough lings to clean this up? The roach count is going down. HayPro's got to be really, really careful here. Follows it up with yet another fungal growth, but doesn't want to lose those infestors. A quick blink in to try and pick those off, and that was thoroughly repulsed. The ling count was not high enough and wasn't able to get through that little maze. You got WhiteRa playing tower defense right here with HayPro, creating a maze for his opponent to get through. Another base coming right here for HayPro, looking to take the 5th at this point. No Warp Prism on the map anymore, so no real possibility of harassment just yet. No doubt Templar either. So HayPro are taking some pretty unreasonable losses in the center there, and WhiteRa looking strong. But WhiteRa sitting now at 82 probes as well, which gives him a significant economic lead. HayPro's got to do some damage, otherwise he's going out of this series 3-0. It's not so good. Certainly some damage done by the infestors, but if we even look at this, the efficiency of WhiteRa here, that's the resources lost tab. Of course, that doesn't tell you how much gas was thrown away one way or the other, but HayPro did lose quite a few infestors and didn't do a huge amount of damage in the process. He's got to get rolling. WhiteRa's army is starting to build quite large indeed, and a Warp Prism on the way up there as well for yet more harassment. HayPro hasn't dealt with this harassment too well yet. Doesn't seem to really be his forte. We've got 4 Immortals now, so roaches aren't really that big an option. HayPro's got to be careful. He's able to follow that up with some good fungal growth, which picks off a number of Stalkers quite nicely, whittling down WhiteRa's force. He's got to max out and go, I think, and that's exactly what he's doing. Lings, roaches, and infestors now coming on the way, which takes HayPro to 200 supply. Hydralisks being put into the mix as well. I was actually surprised we haven't seen Hydra before this, because Colossus tech is not on the field. So, Roach Hydra, totally fine. Yes, there are a lot of Immortals, but still, Roach Hydra with Infestor backup, yeah, it works. There's going to be a Stargate coming in from WhiteRa right now, which is a very curious move. In the meantime, some Warp Prism harassment on the way now. HayPro sees this coming. That's a lot of cannons! Well, he could just walk past them, I suppose. He'll take some damage in the process. There's a Dark Templar now being warped in to deal with that as well. But, yeah, there's not really a lot you can actually do there. You throw away an awful lot of roaches. Now, the question is, where the balls is the Warp Prism? It's right into the main. There we go. DT's once again. Overseer sniped off right there as well. Oh, dear God. That Overseer just got feedbacked. That is a really nice play. I'm sorry. That is a really nice play. He feedbacked the Overseer and was then able to pick off the rest of that. But that was cleaned up quite nicely by HayPro nonetheless. So not a great investment there by WhiteRa. WhiteRa's army supply not looking so pretty either, and he's actually transitioning into Void Rays, and that's a fleet beacon. Oh dear. Looks like we might be seeing some craziness coming in here from WhiteRa momentarily. Shield upgrade coming up for him as well, and HayPro now prodding himself forward. Oh, nice grab there by HayPro. Absolutely fantastic. Pick it off! Kill it! There we go. Second one had to be used to grab that, but he gets it nonetheless. What are you going to do with the fleet beacon, WhiteRa? Is that for a mothership, or is that for carriers? I guess we're about to find out. I think it's a mothership, because if he's going for carriers, he would have more than one Stargate. He only has one at the moment. It's a mothership, ladies and gentlemen, because, hey, why not? In the meantime, Dark Templar harassment up to the top. We're looking for a surround. Needs to take those out immediately. Should be able to stop him from sniping that hatchery. There you go. Nicely done. And the DT harassment not so effective anymore. And I'm good to see anyway that HayPro has done fairly well in that respect. WhiteRa responding perfectly to the threat of Broodlords by grabbing a mothership. Always a good idea. One of the most effective ways to bring them down. He can also go Archon now if he wants. Admittedly, he's got a lot of energy, so I'd imagine he's not going to want to Archon too much. He's got all sorts of options. A little Warp Prism drop right here to the main, but that is picked up there by the Infestors. HayPro's Infestor count looking very, very strong right now. HayPro almost maxed out as well in terms of his army supply, and plenty of upgrades coming in for HayPro as well. HayPro looking much stronger now, having recovered quite nicely. He's responding nice to all of this harassment here. Alright, what's HayPro's army composition? More to the point, we're looking at 9 Infestors, 28 Roaches, 7 Broodlords, but the mothership is on the way. And somehow, I don't think HayPro suspects that. Let's see, does he know where the fleet beacon is? I don't even know where the fleet beacon is. Where's he hiding the fleet beacon? No, he has no idea about that. None whatsoever. Economy is fairly equal on both sides, but this mothership is going to be a bit of a shock. Once again, very, very nice grab there by HayPro, using his special goggles in order to spot that observer. In the meantime, what have we got? Zealots moving in, and a few more Zealots just looking for harassment, able to snipe off that hatchery. Unfortunately, not enough spine crawlers available there. Heavily upgraded Zealots just make mincemeat of spine crawlers. That was unpleasant, and that's going to deny quite a lot of mining here for HayPro for the time being. In the meantime, a big storm goes off under that. Trying to pick off some Corruptors and units there, but not a huge amount of damage really done. Corruptor count is at 5, and the Broodlord count is at 8 right now. WhiteRa just marshalling his forces and will be able to bring the mothership into play. He's building a carrier. I'm not really sure why, but he is building a carrier. I suppose carriers are probably quite good against Broodlords. Well, never mind. I suppose we're about to find out, aren't we? There's a big cancellation there. Oh, massive supply trick there by HayPro. It's going to push his supply up to 204. Yes, you can do that. It's not as high as I've seen from Nurtio before. Well, I think it's managed 213 at one point. But that's pretty damn brutal. 2 more Stargates. We are looking for a mass air transition here from WhiteRa. Oh, no. Oh, no. Vortex is... Oh, he needs to get out of there immediately. That would be so unpleasant if he got Vortex right now. Oh, he's able to get out of there for the most part. Oh, that was so close. WhiteRa, looking terrifying. My God, what is he doing? +2 shield upgrade coming in right here for WhiteRa. Mothership on the field. +1 air weapons and carriers on the way for WhiteRa. And HayPro doesn't really have all that many ways of getting into the base. We've got a warp in here of Dark Templar. That should be picked up fairly quickly, I would think, honestly. But Zealot warp in up to the top, snipes off. Was that... Did they seriously just... No, he didn't snipe off the high. I was going to say, he didn't build out his main, did he? No, that would be terrible. Snipes off a hatchery. Doesn't really make a lot of difference, but does deny some lava. And there's the pickup there. Spawning pool is going down, but that shouldn't go down. I would think HayPro should be able to kill it, no problem. And the question is, what does WhiteRa do now? Well, he's going to start menacing this base over here. My, oh my. Here comes death, courtesy of WhiteRa. And HayPro's going to be thinking, how the hell do I engage into this? He's going for Neural Parasite. If he can get the Neural on that, and if he can Vortex that force, he'll be in a great position. He's got to be very careful with how he handles this. What's the Observer count at? It's actually only at 1. He could potentially tunnel something through there. You're not expanding over there. No, says WhiteRa. Absolutely not. Dark Templar sniped that off, no problem at all. HayPro's actually starting to run out of mining bases, I think. Never mind, he's still mining from 3, so I wouldn't exactly call that running out of mining bases per se. Not as many as HayPro would like. Carriers on the way. We've got a second carrier coming in. And a lot of cannons coming up to defend this area as well. Both these guys have a massive trust fund. Oh, HayPro's now on 208 supply, by the way. Just FYI, he's on 208 supply. His Broodlord count is at 11. That is unpleasant. Upgrade count, not so amazing. Carry is still on the way out. This engagement, one way or the other, is going to be pleasant. But HayPro's got to attack. He's got to do something. He's got to bring out more Corruptors in order to try and snipe off that Mothership. A few Roaches. I think he may actually be throwing these Roaches away just to get a competition of more useful, supply-efficient units. That's exactly what he's doing by the looks of it. HayPro's actually managed to secure his base up to the top, if you can believe that, for the moment. But here comes the engagement. Broodlord's coming in, and the Mothership will be forced to respond to this. Carriers being forced to respond to it as well. Carriers versus Broodlords, folks. This is an interesting engagement. Carriers, as it turns out, do tear through Broodlords quite fast. And he's not having to use this either, but the Crotus moving in. He's got a Vortex! No! He loses the Mothership before the Vortex comes in. However, he's left those Broodlords out in the middle of nowhere, and that is a massive fungal growth here. Does he have the units in order to clean this up? Loads of Archons at the front here. These Broodlords are going to get picked off. He's not careful. There's the aggressive blink there by WhiteRa. 1, 2, 3, take it out. HayPro's supply dropping pretty low, but WhiteRa's as well. HayPro's able to easily remax at this point. Plenty damage done there by HayPro. Sorry, I'm still trying to get over this cold. Another Mothership coming out. 3 carriers coming out simultaneously here from WhiteRa. Oh my, oh my. And that spawning pool's actually going to die. It's alright, HayPro has another spawning pool. He's got one over there, but he lost all of his creep up there. Yet more Dark Templar harassment coming in. Choppy, choppy. If he takes that out, that's going to be a bit of a pain for HayPro as well, but HayPro will surely not let him do that. A few Lings moving in to surround. Ah, it's going to go down anyway! Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I don't know, HayPro's still in a good position, though. He's still mining for armor. All of these bases over here, he's got a reasonably sized army, and WhiteRa's going carriers for some reason. Not entirely sure why, but whatever. HayPro doesn't actually have too many answers to carriers at this point. He doesn't have any Corruptors. He's got nothing he can really pick them off with. No Hydras either. Plus 3 Flyer Carapace coming in. This game is getting a little weird. If it hadn't already got extremely weird. I'd say this has just been weird for a while. Is that plus... That's plus 2 air weapon right there. I don't even know what that looks like. I see it so rarely. 2 more DTs being warped in, but here once again come the Siege Broodlords. Broodling's being cleaned up quite quickly there by...